time to give my reviews. This is going to be 1 out of 3 reviews. Basically, this one's going to be about Anime North, because that's fresh in my mind, and I totally forgot to do the other reviews, so I'll be getting to those later on. But for now, let's talk about AN. So, Anime North 2013. This year I decided to go with carpooling with my friends and everything like that. So instead of taking the bus with the Otaku Anime Club, it was a decent ride up. It was a 6-hour drive, so you can imagine how long that could be. We left at maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. No, we left by 9, sorry, because we ended up getting there around maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. So yeah, the trip up was pretty fun. It was 3 of us in the car together, just chilling and everything. Thursday when we got to the hotel, there was a bit of a problem with our rooms. Apparently, hotel, it's the Radisson, gave some of our rooms to other people, which is why most of us got put on different floors, even though we're like maybe 20 people who carpooled up from Montreal. So that was a little bit, iffy kind of thing, not exactly the best in the world. As for our suites, because we got suites, right, so they were pretty decent. I mean, they're all great except for one thing, which was basically like our room in general didn't have a fridge in it, and we had to make a request for it because we noticed, like, I was looking around and I just noticed this like empty space, this like box just empty, and so yeah, we had to put in a request for that and ask for that stuff there. Aside from that, the rooms wonderful, great rooms and everything like that. And I got to have some pretty awesome buddies with me, so shout out to you guys, especially Ariel and Trixie and Mike, because those were my roomies for this weekend. Let's see. Okay, yeah, pre-registration pickup for Thursday. That was disastrous. Honestly, it was probably the worst thing I've ever been through. I actually had to pick up a zipper badge because I was like staff, sort of, because I was running Soul Eater photo shoot, and for the panelists we had to go to one of the volunteer rooms that was there, and lo and behold, I get there and there's a huge lineup because open registration for that was at 6 o'clock, and we were about 100 people standing outside in line of that door, and it was disastrous because, I mean, we found out that there was only one person working computer in order to scan everybody's pre-registration form. So it took me over maybe 2 hours in order to get that form. And I was causing lateness for other people besides myself. I mean, I needed to go to a dinner with my friends, and I had to actually, like, I was late. I was just late anyways. But yeah, that was just really terrible on staff's part. Like, I mean, they should have had at least more than one computer so they could have gotten that done with. And on top of that, their staff's, no offense, but they're old, and they're sending guys out that are overweight to go on runs to go and get stuff from the other side of the street, which is the Congress Center, and they're having these guys run to get more badges, more packages, whatever. I would have suggested them to actually have somebody who's, I don't know, more in shape in the sense, so that they are quicker in the process of getting there, because I mean, this guy, when he came back, he wasn't really, like, I don't know, let's put it this way, he was slowly walking towards the rest of everybody else when there was like maybe 10-15 people waiting around for the rest of their badge pickup stuff. And literally all it was just a lanyard for your actual pass itself, and your packaging like everybody else got, which was like your guidebook for the weekend and like your scheduling and stuff like that. So, like, I mean, I even asked one of the volunteers that was working there, I said, is it really necessary for me to stand here and wait around for something if it's useless or not, you know, like, and the guy's like, no, you should wait around or whatever. I'm like, okay, and then I get in and I'm like, well, hell, I could have just left, you know, so, anyways, that was really poor management on my part. That's strike one for Enemy North. Then, okay, we went to dinner later that night. It was pretty cool. We got to go to Kelsey's with everybody. It was great. Had a great time with friends and everything like that. We got to have a good meal and good times, good laugh and everything. And that was end of the first day, for Thursday. And then Friday, because that's the start of the convention on Friday, we didn't have to, we're just basically waiting around until like 5 o'clock because that's when the convention starts. So what we did was, Arian and I, we took a trip with Remy to a Walmart that was 10 minutes away from here, or away from the place, and we went there to go restock with like food and drinks and whatever else we can find that we were missing basically from our hotel room. So that was fun, that run that we went on. We also got to share our information for other people who needed it, because obviously there wasn't very much around our general area of the actual Congress Center, so it wasn't too bad. Okay, yeah, so by the time we got back to the hotel, we still had some time to waste, but then by then I was like getting ready basically in my costume, which was my Pokemon costume that I made last minute. It ended up being really good costume and got some good reviews from people, so that was pretty cool. And I decided, like, once it was open, to go and rush to get my pass for the skit show, because the skit show is on Friday, so I want to go check that out so that I can just, like, you know, get tips and everything like that from my own management for a talkathon. So yeah, I went to go get the badges, and I met up with some people that I knew there, so I was able to say hi to them and get my stuff, and then I just ran and rushed towards the Pokemon photo shoot that was there. And Pokemon photo shoot was kind of lame, to be honest. The thing was, like, not really organized very well. I know, I understand it's just volunteers running it and everything like that, but I mean, it wasn't that great in terms of, like, I like to have people basically give more direction and give more choices and stuff like that for people to actually take photos, because I mean, not everybody was able to have photos taken. They were just standing around, and I felt kind of like brushed aside too, and I wasn't treated very nicely by one of the photographers that was there, because I mean, like, at one point we had like this full like Eevee evolution photo thing, and we all got up together and we kind of squeezed together because they told us to get in. So we're like, okay. So what I did, because I was a girl Umbreon and there's a guy Umbreon, so we put one on one side and one on the other so that it would be evened out and everything, and everybody else was in the middle. And this one photographer, she's just like, oh, can you move out of the way? Yeah, we want to see more of like the Flareon that's beside you. And I'm like, okay, she's standing right beside me, you can still see her, I'm not in her way, you know, like, come on. Anyways, that was really rude of whoever that was, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Anyways, so that was mean, and I was just like, holy crap, these people are freaking, like, you know, you see cosplay bullying, and you see, like, everything like that, and just, that's one prime example of it. Of course, I didn't let it get to me there, like, I didn't say anything or whatever like that. I just shrugged it off and was like, okay, whatever, this person's obviously determined to get Flareon's photo. Anyways, so yeah. After the photo shoot, yeah, I went to go to the dealer's room because I was going to go get autographs, and for the Sailor Moon autographs, basically, and I went and stood in line for Katie Griffin, and oh my god, this is the worst. It was like, organization was terrible once again, and the guests were like half an hour late, and I needed to rush because I needed to go and watch a skit show, because I was gonna go watch the skit show with a bunch of friends. And yeah, it was half an hour late, and nobody knew what was going on. The volunteers, of course, didn't know anything, and it was just retarded. I was just like, ugh, I was about to leave, and then they showed up, so it was okay. So that was one happy moment afterwards when I actually got to meet Katie Griffin. Yeah, so I got to meet Katie Griffin, and I got her autograph signed on one of my posters that I've had since I was, well, that was back in the 1990s, so I was pretty much like 11 years old or something, whenever Sailor Moon came out to North America. She was really nice. I took photos with her, and she really appreciated the fact that, like, I thanked her for basically making my childhood, because that show was like my favorite show when I was a kid and growing up, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, and then I rushed over to skip show. I was like, holy crap, I gotta leave, so I left, and I went straight for the DoubleTree, and lineup. It was pretty long. I was just like, oh man, this is gonna suck, you know, like lineup, and I was like, I'm so far behind and stuff, so. But then I met some people I haven't seen for a very long time, like Evil. I was just like, oh my god, Evil! And his friend was there, and he's just like, hey, it's a girl from Montreal. I'm like, yeah, it's me. And then it was pretty cool. And then met it with Anne-Marie, and we got to go up in the line, so yeah, we got to go up in the line, so we made it a little bit closer to the front of the actual, to watch the skit, and we got some good seats so that we can see everything. The skit show, was terrible. To put it plainly, it was bad. Honestly, like, I've never seen it that bad before. I was in the audience, I was dying of boredom. I almost left at one point. So did, like, everybody else. We were just, like, I mean, that place was full when we started, and half the place emptied out by the end of the show. And I almost left during the show because I was just like, wow, okay, this is so terrible. I'm not going to miss anything even if I do leave. Because essentially what the skit show comprised of, with the people, there was about like maybe 5 or 6 different entries of the same characters from the same show. So just imagine Black Butler, but like 5 or 6 times, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm tired of seeing these characters. And then there was people who were doing dance routines. I don't understand why there's dance routines in this skit show. Okay, I understand that they don't have an actual show for dancing over there, but seriously, it's like really terrible on their part. I'm sorry, but no, like, it's just, I really don't like the fact that they have dancing in there. So if I were running that, I would say, hey guys, if you're doing a dance routine, you're not allowed in here, basically. Like, get off the stage. It was really bad. Like, I mean, like, there's maybe 3 or 4 out of, like, I don't know how many entries there were. There's 30 or 40 entries, I think, or something, and maybe 3 or 4 of them were actually good to see. And they actually just started off the show with a really, really good skit. They should have at least had those people go last, if anything, so that, like, you know, it would go off with like a bang or something like that. But no, it was so bad, even to the point that MC had problems following up with it, because people were actually leaving during the skit show and they didn't want to stick around, and then the MC was trying to fill in stuff, and he was just actually apologizing all the time, which was like not his fault at all. Like, I don't understand why the fault would be on this guy. And I'm surprised if anybody actually did win anything for a skit show. I haven't really focused on the reviews or anything for that yet, so I'm gonna check out what happened with that. But yeah, anyways, that was the skit show, and yeah, I ended up going back, I think, to the hotel after we finished, so it was like, go meet up with people after that so that we can hang out, and then we ended up going out to eat. And this is the really cool part. Okay, we went to this, me, Remy, shoot, who was it? Me, Remy, Bert, who was like falling asleep, like entirely falling asleep. Cole, Twitchy was there too. Ryan was there, and Then we were waiting for Scott and Lexi, and they were both late. Very, 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 very late. Anyways, oh yeah, and Toph. Toph was with us too. Sorry, Toph. We were in the 2 cars, and we were driving to this Lone Star place, which is maybe like 5 minutes away from where we were by car. And it was pretty late at night. It was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night that we went there to go get food. Essentially what happened was on the road, and this is like serious shit, like right here, like honestly. I was in Remy's car following Ryan, because Ryan was driving his car, the guys in it, and first off, what happened at the lights was basically this guy, he like totally like took up 2 lanes because he was turning into the other lane, and we all thought like, oh gosh, Ryan's probably swearing by now, and then we found out he was, and then we went around it and whatever, it was fine. Then we were going to like turn into the actual like parking lot for Lone Star, but then we were following Ryan, and he turned into the wrong one, and we ended up turning into this like gas station area type thing, so we drove really, really, really fast around, like, to go back and U-turn and stuff like that, and go back onto the highway, and we had to like basically, because there was no connecting up of like the gas station and the Lone Star's like parking spaces, which was kind of strange, so we had to actually literally turn around, go back onto the highway, and then go into the thing by like, normally you're supposed to go like this, and then like go onto the highway and then turn around or whatever, but what ended up happening was that I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, I was like, oh my god, what happens if like Ryan just like goes against traffic and goes into like the parking lot, you know, since it's like right there, and then sure enough, he just does it. I was just lost my stuff like right there. I just lost my shit like entirely. And then after that, Remy's like, oh, well, we can do this too. So then we go against traffic. We're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we're going crazy. And then we went in, and then we were like speeding and stuff like that. And we're like, oh my god, we actually made this, you know, that kind of thing. We get there, and we're like, and then everybody gets out of the car, and then it was silent. Nobody said anything, and all of a sudden I get out of the car, and I was like, holy shit, Ryan, what the hell did you do? So everybody's harping on me. They're like, they were surprised because they thought that Remy would have said something, or Top Police would have made it. Anyways, thinking that somebody else would have made a comment or whatever, but no, I'm the one who made a comment. Anyway, so yeah, we went to the restaurant, and yeah, we had a great meal. We were waiting though for Scott and Lexi. They took forever to get there because but we were able to got some really great food and like drinks too. Like we were really harping on the drinks, and it was cool because our waitress, like, she automatically, she's like asking us like for ID and stuff, and all of us were basically looking at her, was like, I think most of us here are pretty much over the age of like they'd expect us to, but we just all look like really super tired, and like we're still in like half costumes and everything, like I was still dressed in my costume and whatnot. So we convinced them to like that we were all over the drinking age, which we are. And then we played a prank on Scott. We basically had the waitress card him, but then we didn't get the reaction that we thought, kind of thing, because like he was just like, oh, but he didn't think it was strange there that he was getting carded, even though he's like older than most of us. But anywho, so that was a pretty funny thing there. So yeah, that was Friday night. Saturday, Saturday. Yeah, this is an interesting day on Saturday. Essentially what's going down on Saturday is the biggest day at the convention. Oh yeah, okay. I decided to get up later because I knew that like there was no rush in between then and there, and I took my time getting ready. Just getting, you know, just ready really slowly and stuff like that. Had my coffee in the morning because I was tired from the night before, and I had to get dressed into my Medusa costume. Yay! And I also had to like basically wait for somebody to come by and help me draw on all of like my snake tattoos. So basically Top came by and helped me out with that. Thank you, Top. Thank you. So I ended up getting that done. Then I waited for Cole to to get ready so that we can both head out there, because basically we're cosplaying from the same thing. It's just so later. And so when we did, we went out and we're walking around just a bit, and then there was some people that took photos of us. Jason was there too with his Taisuka costume, so we got maybe a few photos together as a group there. I don't know where all the other photos went. I'm like trying to look online, and there's like billions of photos, but anywho. So yeah, my cosplay was pretty awesome for Saturday. Like, and then when we were going, we went towards the dealer's room, because like I didn't go yet, but I didn't like really want to go shopping that day. This is mostly on Sunday that I was supposed to go shopping and stuff. So we went to the dealers because I wanted to get my other autographs from the Sailor Moon people. And okay, here's the second thing that I want to complain about for Anime North, which was really badly organized, and I almost lost my shit on somebody because it was pretty bad. And I was going for the photo ops, and basically what happened was that I got there and they were letting people into the lines as they were changing the signs for the people that were previously there doing signatures. So when I got there, I was looking at the signs for each row, which basically told you, oh, so-and-so is in this direction, so follow this line. So-and-so is in this direction, so follow that line. And so I wanted to go get Susan Roman's signature. So I'm like, okay, let's go for Susan Roman's signature. So I looked at the thing, I'm like, okay, it's going this way. So I follow it. And I'm waiting in line, and waiting for half an hour. And then I noticed, hey, look, they shift the voice actors over on the tables. What does this mean? So I asked the people behind them, I'm like, did you guys come for this voice actor or whatever like that, just to check? And they're like, yeah, we came here for this. I'm like, well, I think we might be in the wrong lineup now. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, because I'm noticing that these people are going to see her, and I've already seen her yesterday, which was Kitty Griffin's line. And I was like, okay, I think we're in the wrong lineup. So I said I was going to go talk to a volunteer. So I went to go talk to this guy who was one of the volunteers that was helping out with the lineups. And I was trying to be nice to him, and I said, you know, hi, I've been waiting here for a very long time, and I noticed that we sort of got shifted, and I am currently not waiting in the right lineup, as much as these people behind me are also not waiting in the right line for Susan Roman. And then he says, oh, and then I told him, I said, well, it's also because of the fact that whoever put the signs at the front either made a mistake or they were right and then they got shifted over or something. So I explained the situation, and it made clear sense for me, as it made clear sense for the people behind me. So I typically thought that it would make sense for this guy. So then the guy's like, okay, let me check what's going on with this. So he goes and talks to whoever, and then he comes back to me and he's like, oh, so what you're saying is basically you're in the wrong line, right? I'm like, yeah, I was waiting here for about half an hour, and then I was trying to explain to him, like, again, I've been waiting here for that long just for this autograph person because of what it says at the front. And then he tells me, he's like, well, you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to go into the back of the other line. And then I'm like, wait, what? Like, you're asking me to go wait in this other line, which is super long, and like, I've been waiting here for maybe as long as those people that are there that have been waiting for me, and you're telling me to go in the back of their line? I was like, no. I'm like, you're not understanding this. So I'm like trying to reason with him, and he's like, I can't really do that, you know, because it's not fair to the other people. And I said, well, I could ask somebody over there if they don't mind if I cut in or whatever. So the guy's like, well, I don't think it would be fair for everybody else. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'll just ask them. So I asked this girl, and I'm like, yo, is it okay if I go in with you with the autographs? It'll take 5 seconds because this person, like, somebody on their end screwed up the signs at the front. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. And then he turns around and puts me on his spot. He's like getting angry at me, and he's just like, oh, hey, maybe you should ask the rest of the lineup if they don't mind, you know, if you cut in and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, maybe I will. And I started asking people, I'm like, do you guys really mind? And this other guy, he just shouted out, he's like, hey, well, we've been waiting here for a long time anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. So nobody really cared, basically. And then this guy's, well, why don't you ask the rest of them if they mind? I'm giving me attitude, you know? I'm like, whoa, okay, like, calm down there. I'm like, hey, just, like, try to, like, think of the fact that, like, all of us have been waiting here for the same time, but you guys organized this poorly so that we're waiting in the wrong lineup. And I just told the guy, basically, I already have the person that I'm currently in line for his autograph, so I just want to move over one. Like, that's it. So he was getting up in my face about it, and the people that were behind me were arguing for my cause. She's like, oh, maybe she just wants to get her stuff signed from. She doesn't want to talk with her. It'll take 5 seconds. So I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. It's okay. I'm like, and then I'm trying to reason with the guy, saying, hey, like, they're totally right. Like, that's all I came here for, was basically her signature. So, like, if anything, can I just get it signed or whatever? And then the guy's like, oh, I don't know. And then, like, finally, I convinced him. So he took my stuff to go get it signed. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I still waiting in line for? So I go up, and I'm like, bye, y'all, like, in line and stuff like that. So he goes to hand the girl my signature, and I just, like, butt in front of him, basically, because he was giving me attitude earlier. And then, I was talking with, Susan Roman, and she was totally nice about it. Like, I said, I really apologize for cutting the line, but, you know, like, the organization here screwed up with the signs, so basically half your fans are winning in somebody else's line right now. Just letting you know, like, that they made a big boo-boo and stuff like that. So anyways, I put them on the spot because they're a bunch of idiots for fucking it up in the first place. Excuse my language, I'm angry about this. But yeah, they screwed up on their part, and it's really totally, like, bad organization skills. And I mean, like, I did guessing for freaking Comic-Con, and it was way better than that, like, way more organized, okay? And we don't tolerate that crap, especially, like, I don't care if you're a bunch of volunteers, you guys gotta, like, Anime North has to actually train the volunteers in order to do the job properly, or else they're gonna have mix-ups like this all the time, and they're gonna make even people more angry. Like, I was in a calm state of anger, like, not so bad, and I wasn't yelling or anything like that, so I was okay. But imagine somebody else who really takes it to the next level and just starts, like, ripping somebody's head off and getting into, like, fist fights with them. So, like, I mean, I am personally gonna go and, like, write a complaint on their forums because somebody really, like, screwed up on their end. Anywho, so that was just sucked. But, like, yeah, Susan Moore, she was really sweet. She actually signed my stuff, and she obviously, like, knew what my name was or whatever because she saw that Katie signed my photo already. Damn it, I'm calling it a poster already. But yeah, she was really cool about it, and she's like, well, I'm really glad, like, that you actually got to see me. And I'm like, well, it was under crappy circumstances, you know, and it was kind of awkward. Anyways, I was glad that I actually got to talk to her for a brief moment, and yeah, so that was messed up. Then I wanted to go see Drew because I wanted to get photos with him, and that's when I actually went to go line up for his booth, which literally took a long time. I love you, Drew. I think it was like maybe an hour and a half wait or something like that because there's a lot of cosplayers. It was intense. There was like so many people that day, and what we had planned though was what was really cool. Ariel had this idea because they had the like whole like reptile booth beside us, or they're actually called the Hamilton snakes, I think it is. Yeah, and Ariel went to go talk to one of the guys so that we can use one of the snakes for a photo shoot. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get this actually like hold on to like a real snake for the photo shoot. So then Cole meets up with us afterwards, and basically when we finally got in there, we took photos with this snake, and it was cool because the snake is so cute and everything like that. It was a ball python snake. Yeah, so the snake warmed up pretty well on my arm. At first he was pretty shy, and like there's some photos that we took that I'll probably post some like I'll take photos afterwards. But he kept like coming off my arm and kept going down, and we kept having the guy try to handle him so that he would stay on my arm and just like cooperate with the photos. Eventually he actually did warm up to me. Like I just like pet him a little bit, and I said, hi, how's it going? And he was like okay about it and stuff like that, but he was all like, as soon as he got warmed up to me, he was on my arm and he was like completely like wrapped around it and just snug tight on there, and he didn't move for the rest of the shoot. It was incredible. But then anybody else who actually tried to go after him, he would go hiding and he would be under my arm and he was like trying to hide on my arm and stuff like that to get away from people. And yeah, and you can see that in some of the outtake posts that I'll post later. Yeah, it was really a fun experience. I mean, there was lots to do and lots to, I don't know, the shoot itself was really, really great. I just never actually had like a live prop before doing that, so it was really cool. And I really want to thank Drew for taking the time and having the courage to take photos with an actual snake, because it was kind of like, it was a little different experience or whatever for the both of us. Also, let's see, what else did I do after that? After those photos, I went outside again, and I think we sort of split up, because I went to go get artist stuff, so I went to go get art around dealer's room, and like we went on our separate ways, because I had to actually go and rush for, my Soul Eater photo shoot. Okay, this is what's messed up. Like, as soon as we were done, because we were a little bit late for our photo shoot, I had to run across the street and leave poor Cole behind. But when I got there, basically what happened was the people were missing, and then, like, they were supposed to be in front of the building, and I know it was really windy that weekend, but, we were all gone. I'm like, where's all the people for the photo shoot? And then sure enough, there was just a group that was there that was like, hey, they're on the side of the building. And I'm like, what? And I'm the organizer for this, right? And I go on the side of the building, lo and behold, there's like 50 people taking photos already, and I'm like, okay, they can just go do things. But then there's somebody that's already there, and they're calling out the shots. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to that person. So I went to go talk to them, and this girl, and she's really cool, and I found out she's actually from Quebec, so I was like, yay. And I told her, like, hey, sorry, I'm late, I'm the organizer for this, it's a new thing this year, and tried to explain to her what's going on. She's like, cool, it's okay, do you want to take over the shoot? I'm like, sure, it's fine. But then there was, like, this older woman that was there that was giving me problems or whatever like that, and she was sort of, like, causing trouble with, this other girl that was also calling the shots, too. It was, like, I don't even know how, she was, like, 40-something or something. Anyways, apparently she was known for doing that for other photo shoots too or whatever. She's been like causing trouble for people. I didn't particularly like it, and I mean, she even gave me attitude, and I told her, sorry guys, I'm late. Like, basically I told her, I'm sorry guys, I'm late there, I was at another photo shoot, I'm the organizer for this. And then this lady, she's like, oh, like, so glad that you could, like, you know, show up now and stuff like that. Oh, I guess you're going to be taking it over now. Like, she's putting me on the spot, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I am. I'm taking over, and I'm actually doing this because this is what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. And then she just, like, shut up, and then she was, like, quiet for the rest of the time. But, yeah, it was pretty cool when we started getting together, but it was, like, really train of thought was kind of, like, off, because, I mean, I got there, like, last, like, 5 minutes into the shoot, and it was all over the place. It was all crazy because everybody's doing different things and everything like that. And I was trying to follow up to find out what had been done yet and what hasn't been done, because, like, what I really want to see is that everybody gets a chance to be in the photo, whether you're a kid, whether an adult, whatever. As long as you're dressed and you're in a character, like, I want to be able to see pictures of people, because I'm like, I hate to not have pictures taken of me, and I'm sure that everybody else there would hate to not have pictures taken of them too as well. So I made sure that we got everybody that were supposed to be. But the only thing that I'm sad about was that some of the kids that were there, they left early, and I was like, no, we need you, and we could have had them before, but then they left because their parents, I guess, took them, and that was it, you know? So, I'm sorry for that, whoever, got to basically go through that, but I'm just hoping that we find them online anyways, all the photos and stuff like that, so I just hope that everybody gets to have at least their photos, because there's like tons of people taking pictures. So yeah, that was kind of disastrous in its own way, but I was able to actually take some private shoots, like photos of some of the people, the like girl that was helping me out with the shoot with like her friend. So I got to take some pictures of them, and I've been editing them all day today. Still haven't gone through all of them because there's like 100 photos that I took on Sunday. So yeah, and for after that, Cole and I, we went back to the hotel because we were tired and stuff. So we're just waiting there until like basically to meet up with everybody else, because we were supposed to go to like a birthday dinner thing for Anne, because it was her birthday, and it was also Tricia's birthday too. So we chilled there for a while at the hotel, and then decided to actually go out and go back to the dealer's room while it was still open, because it was still open till like I think 8 o'clock. So that's when I went to go get my art stuff at the artist alley. And then I bumped into a few friends that I hadn't seen for a very, very long time, which is basically Diane and Steve. So I got to talk to them for a while and see what was up and like everything like that, which was really cool. And like going to go shopping for my art stuff, because I'm like, yay, art stuff, because I really like supporting the artists that are there. And I got to talk to one of the artists that I actually bought from previously, and got to chat them up a bit about like coming to like Otakuthon and stuff like that. And so I bought a few like different prints from that, and they're somewhere in my room right now. So after that, left that place, and I think I got asked to come back to the hotel again, because that's when we had to go figure out like basically where we're supposed to be going to eat, because plans kind of got messed up that. Yeah, more photos are getting taken and stuff like that, so on my way back. But yeah, that happened, and we went to the hotel and then finally figured out things with the guys. So I was chilling with Ariel in the room for a while, and then finally got called up, and Top's like, oh, come downstairs right now, and we're all leaving and stuff like that. So we took the car to, I don't even know what restaurant, it was the restaurant that we'd been to the previous year, and we had terrible service there. And I told everybody, I'm like, hey guys, isn't that the place that we had terrible service at last time? And they were like, no, whatever, you know. And then we went to that place, and guess what? The same people that were serving there before were serving there again, and they were still working there. And guess what happened? They all caused this trouble again. This one guy who wanted everybody to pay on one bill, and we're like 30 people there, and we're like, hell no, this is not gonna happen. He was giving us attitude. And then we had the waitress who was like overly doing her job. Like, she'd come and see us every 5 seconds to check up on us, and we told her to go away, and she didn't listen, and she kept coming back, and anyways, completely terrible. And there was like some drama that went down, and I was like, holy crap, okay, tonight's not the night for that. After the meal, we went back to the hotel. We were supposed to have a hotel room party, and then something fell through the floor there, but we ended up going to Scott's room and started drinking some of the stuff there, so we all got to drink. And then we took some pretty funny photos, like elevator Gangnam style photos of me and stuff. Yeah, it was good. Which will probably show up later on. I don't know when, but later. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday, which was a more chillax day, I decided to just go casual, and you know, because I wasn't gonna be staying there for too much longer. So I got up early so that I can actually go and do some of my shopping. Mostly shopping for my coworkers, to be honest. So yes, Adam, I got you your pillow, and yes, Simon, I got you your little Borderlands toy. So I got that out of the way. Hold on a second, I just forgot I had tea. God. Haha, tea. Starting to lose my voice because, yes. Anywho, so I went shopping and I got a bunch of stuff, which is a little bit less than usual. Oh, one thing that surprised me, and then I realized this on the way back, was basically I forgot my traditional thing, which was getting a tramp stamp or airbrush tattoo on myself. Yeah, I totally forgot about that, so that didn't happen at all, and not really disappointed, but then at the same time I'm thinking to myself, like, this year was completely different from all the other years I've been to at Anime North. So, yeah. It was rushed, but it wasn't that rushed. I mean, Sunday was rushed, obviously, because everybody wanted to leave earlier, which I do agree with being on time, or at least not late at night. But yeah, no, Sunday was just like basically dealer's room, getting this stuff and getting out of there. It was going crazy because I bought myself a whole bunch of like Gundam kits so I can make those things. They're really cool. I finished or completed my actual collection for Alice, so I have all of them now up to date. I do, however, have the following removed from our boxes: the classic one, Cheshire Cat, and the Card Guard. I'm not yet going to remove the Hysteria Alice or the Royal Suit version, just because they are, like, I mean, the Hysteria one's a little bit more rare, but also the Royal Suit version just came out, so I want to see how that one's going to go for piece of like product placement value or something like that. I don't even know. Like, I mean, it's just taking up space, which is why I like opened the other boxes for that. Doesn't really matter. Aside from that, I didn't really get anything else. That was basically my splurge. Oh, I bought a surprise bag, which was like basically stuff that was from like last year or whatever, from the store that I went to, but it was like Lolita style stuff that was in there. There was like little ears that you can, as clip-ons, that were, I kept those, but I think I'm going to give away this headband thing. So Tracy, you might be interested in this if you're watching this video. And I got this really cool like Kakashi figurine too. So that's the Kakashi figurine. So I built that yesterday. It's pretty cool. It's just him doing his this punch thing, this lightning punch thing. It's like on a stand and everything. Yeah. So I got that. It was really cool. Reception wise, like guess it was okay. Like, I mean, the convention itself was alright. It was a little strange though, a lot of time. Organization wise, terrible. Like, this is the worst I've seen it this year. And it's not just me, it's everybody else that's complaining about it. It was really terribly organized. And I really hope that somebody is reading the feedback and is saying to themselves, hey guys, we need new staff. We need better organization, because this is not tolerated. Like, it's just, if you guys are expecting that many people, I would expect them to have at least 200 staff people that are actually trained and like know what they're doing, because most of the stuff was volunteers and they don't know what they're doing, so it was kind of retarded at that point. Like I said, never seen it bad. I knew it was terrible. Sometimes, I mean, dealing just with like those three things, basically the staff badges took forever, and the autographs lineup person was really so the autographs person was number 2, and number 3 basically was the skit show being very disorganized. It was not good. Let's see, was there anything else that I would complain about? I don't know, traffic-wise it was pretty good though, for getting people inside and outside the con. I'd say give them that. The layout actually for the dealer's room and everything was set up better than last year, which I actually enjoyed. That I can give them a thumbs up for, because the flow was a lot better and easier to access and stuff. What else was there that was actually good? Trying to think of the good things that were good. I didn't get around to any of the panels or anything else, which was strange, because I actually wanted to do that this year, but I didn't have the time for it. It was like all during the same time. Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I can't tell you if anything else is good. I mean, I heard other people say that sometimes it's stuff like actually stunk. So I'm like, okay. Oh, one thing I did hear about, another complaint, okay, is basically like everything you had to pre-register beforehand for workshops. And I'm like, whoa, okay, this is new. And I don't think it really worked out very much because you either had to pay for these workshops or pre-registration was like already sold out before it was already done before everything else. So when people showed up, they're like, hey, can I take part? And they're like, no, you can't because it's pre-registered. And you're like, oh. And like, if you wanted to play Magic that weekend, $40 for freaking like entry and you get nothing for it. It's like just entry fee. Just no. Don't, no. It just seems like Anime North is losing money, and that's where they're getting their money from. Stupid. Very stupid. I don't know. This convention for me this time around was okay, but I mean, like I said, it had its really down points to it, which was not too strong, guys. Not too strong at all. So for a review, let's see. If I was gonna say out of 10, I would give it maybe a 5 and say that it's a half and half situation. If it was good for my part, but then it was bad for the convention's part. That's pretty much what I'm going for here. So yeah, I hope that they could maybe do better in the future. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'm so glad that you listened to me talk for as long as I have been talking. And look forward to my next review, which is going to be about Ottawa Comic Con. And then my first review was supposed to be about my Supernatural Con experience. And yeah, stay tuned for those. Bye!